The Bouncy Rock Sniffer is a fun little rover you can use to scout out the planet around your landing site and your base looking for precious ore, crashed wrecks, and even enemy outposts. Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engineers and another creative spotlight. Today, what we're looking at, the Bouncy Rock Sniffer. Which is the name that was lovingly given to it by Salford Sal, I believe, when we created this monstrosity together. Actually, not really a monstrosity. I really like this little guy. I think he turned out really well. Now, you just give you a quick little look at it. The idea behind this ship was that it needed to be, this is completely survival ready, so you'll notice that everything is all hooked up using conveyors to all of the proper places. You can get access and connect and do all of this stuff. Like this is the emergency one, so it's not hooked up to anything. But yeah, like this is all hooked up. Everything is hooked up, so it's survival ready. And the purpose of this little guy is, you'll see it comes kind of fully equipped to kind of just head off out into Never Never Land and do its work. And what is his work? His work is, as his title suggests, he is a rock sniffer. So this is an early game, hopefully early game, little tiny build that you can make to go searching for ore out and about on your planet. Tiny little rover with 4 little wheels and a nice looking frame and some wheel wells. These were designed by Sal. These are definitely a highlight of this at the end. I love the look of the wheel wells and how it all came together. It's got solar panels on the top so that you can keep it charged for long journeys of surveying, and it's also got some guns on the front. They were kind of a last minute addition because why not? But just in case you run into some enemies, like those guys over there, dun dun, there is a remote control. So if for whatever reason you end up outside of the ship far away and you want to bring it to you, you can do it through that, because it comes with the remote control. It comes with an antenna that you can see back here, and it has lights all the way around it as well for lighting it up. So if you're out in the middle of the night, right, you can turn those babies on, flip on the lights. You can see like they go in all directions. So if it's nighttime, this will definitely brighten your way. So let's take a quick peek at the internals of this ship. So what you'll see is it sports some artificial mass blocks to keep it down, and it's got a nice battery inside as well. You can see it's got 2 batteries in here, right? So that you can keep it charged and going. And it also has the emergency reactor, so you can jump start it if for whatever reason you run out of power, and you can get it back home, or you can make sure that at least the antenna is running and you can call for help. Now it also has these little boosters. I'll get into what these were all about later, but there are some boosters and like booster thrusters in the back. Got the guns that we showed you already, the spotlights that I showed you. It's got some different wheel stuff going on here, which I'll get into in a minute. And then of course, this is its antenna, its main cockpit, a connector so that you can hook up to your base and transfer, supplies with, you can bring supplies with you if you need to like maybe go out and build a little outpost while you're out there. If you happen to come across like a down ship and you want to scavenge some materials while you're out there, you can pick those up, right? So you got a container for that kind of stuff and a connector to hook up to your base. And then the remote control block, like I mentioned before, so you can bring it to you or send it out, right? If there's something maybe out there and you don't really want to kind of put yourself into the fray, you can send it out on its own, remote control it out. And then of course its reactor. The boosters are on the back here and you can see them right there. Now the original idea for these boosters was, this was before I really understood how wheels work. And Sal and I were having a really hard time trying to get this thing to move properly. And so our final effort to getting this to go up more of a steep incline or to make a jump or something was we put these little boosters on the back as a little bit of a kickstart, right? Or not a kickstart, but like a thruster boost to push it push it up a hill. So these don't really aren't really needed anymore, but they're still kind of fun. And if we go into the settings, you'll see that they are overridden to max, right? So the idea being that you have them off, and then when you need them, you just flip them on, and it boosts you away, right? Now, as you can see, I'll show you how these actually work. I don't know if this is just something that's happened since we built these, because I remember these working better in the past, but my memory could just be faulty. But so there's the thrusters, right? We're sitting here, we have our handbrake on. So I'll turn off the handbrake, and then I'll turn on these boosters. And we don't move at all. Like, you can see the wheels starting to turn a little bit. So they don't really do a whole lot. I mean, part of that, actually, now that I think about it, could be the friction. So, like, if I turn the friction all the way down to 0... No, they're still not doing anything. It weighs too much. So, but down here on the bottom, you'll see we've got the handbrake, right? So you can turn that on and off. We've got the lights. We've got those wonderful thrusters that are so useful and powerful. And then the next two things are to do with the wheels. So if you look right now, right, these are set up so that when you turn in this vehicle, only the front wheels turn, right? And you can move around. Now, if I flip on number 4, it actually turns the wheels, the back and the front wheels together. So this allows you to get through really tight spaces and make really, really sharp turns, right? That's kind of the purpose of that. So you can take full advantage of that. And then the next two ones here are for increasing and decreasing the power of your wheels. Now, this is actually how you would get up a hill properly with wheels, not using thrusters like I was doing. But yeah, so these will allow you to like turn down and turn up the power so that you can get up and down, or get up hills a little easier, right? I normally keep them around 10% as a decent kind of running around speed. And then we have the ability for you to turn on and off your primary weapon in this vehicle, which is your ore detector, right? One of the main purposes of this was a scout ship. So it's going out and finding all of the ore around you. And then you can mark them with GPS, or if you brought, you know, materials and you want to kind of be more immersive, you could build little like waypoints there with antennas or beacons and things, which is, you know, why you have cargo and all that kind of jazz. And then your antenna, of course, you can flip that on and off. Now, I normally keep these down here for, like, when I don't need them, I turn them off, right? Like, I have them all off, because then your machine will draw less power. And if you're running off a battery, that can be really useful. And then, of course, being able to turn on and off your connector for docking. Now, the last thing is, if I flip over to the second bar here, you'll see that this is where I've got, so you can use your weapons by just assigning it to you know, like the normal mouse interaction. And then on number 2, it's just on forever, right? So if you wanted to kind of maybe set it up as a remote turret out there as well, right? You could just turn it on, face in the right direction, and then run away as a distraction when the bad guys come for you. I wish that things actually worked that way, but that would be actually really cool. So anyhow, so that's kind of how the toolbar all works and what it's all about. Oops, looks like I shot my hog. Oops. There we go. Good as new. Now you might be wondering why it's called the Bouncy Rock Sniffer. Now when we first built this thing, again, I didn't understand how wheels work. Now, if I was to drive this guy around a little bit, we can move, and it actually drives pretty decently, right? It's got a nice kind of quick little turning arc here. You do have to be careful, right? It is a small little machine, and if you turn too fast, it could flip itself pretty easily. Back when I was building this with Sal, it just bounced like crazy. And I'm a little bit better with the wheels and the settings and things now. I'm still, you know, I don't think I've got this thing set up just perfect. So if you guys are geniuses with wheel settings, I'd love to hear, or I'd love you guys to post that in the comments what you think I should have the settings for this at, and I'll give them a try. And of course, you could even download this from the workshop, try them out, and let me know what settings work great for you. But here's an example too of kind of like why, or one of the original reasons, I guess, for the thrusters. So if I turn these thrusters on, right, the idea was, you know, this should help me get up this ramp, right? But not so much. But if I was to like turn up the power a little bit on these wheels, dun da da, there we go. Now we can get up the hill and over to the top, put on the brake. And we don't need those. You know, it's kind of fun just to leave them on just because it looks cool. But whatever. But yeah, so there you go. So now you can even get up, you know, hills and back up onto your base and everything. And then if I turn on, say, there we go. Now we can make really sharp corners, as you can see, and do donuts. But yeah, so we can get in and out of like really tight spaces and then head on out. And I can turn those off and keep going. So now as we drive along, we can just go looking for resources, right? And we know that there's definitely some resources down this way by the lake. Alright, so we made it down to the lake. And now we can turn on our dealios here and head on over. There you go. We found magnesium and like all this stuff, right? So as you're driving along, you see all this stuff, and then you can mark it, and decide to come back here later to get all these things. Or you could even get out and do some hand drilling right now, right? But yeah, there you go. That's the Bouncy Rock Sniffer and kind of all of its wonderful functions. And then you can just mosey on around and then head back home. If you have any ideas about how to improve the design of the Rock Sniffer, especially about the wheel settings, post them in the comments. I look forward to reading them and having a discussion with you all. The Bouncy Rock Sniffer is available on the workshop now. Check the description for a link. As always, you're free to use it in your own worlds, tinker with it as you please. If you do post a modification to the workshop, I'd appreciate if you'd include a link to my original version, as well as letting me know about it in the comments. I'd love to check it out. So with that, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like. You'll be letting me know that you're excited to see more of my creations and helping to expose the video to more amazing people like you. If you're new to my channel, you might be interested in subscribing, as you'll be notified when I release new videos. At the moment, I'm releasing Space Engineers on Thursday, Elite Dangerous on Wednesday, Pulsar the Lost Colony on Saturday, and some other fun stuff sprinkled throughout the week. There is a link to my full schedule in the description if you're interested. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Have an absolute great one, and I'll see you next time.